G'day comrade subscribers, hope you're all well. Maybe a quick video today, I don't know, let's see. But thanks to PCBway, I've got a batch of PCBs that I've designed arrive, so let's have a look at them. So this one is pretty simple. I actually got the idea off Marcel on the PCBway shared project site. He designed a what did he call it, like a Logic Analyser breakout board for the 6803/6809 CPU. So I had a quick look and I couldn't find any had been made for the 8080 or the Z80. So I thought I'd just whip them up pretty quickly. As you may know, if you're a long time viewer, I when I'm using my Logic Analyser, so I've got a Saleae, but it comes, so it's this one's is a 16 input analyzer, and it comes with these little clips to clip onto whatever leg. So you know, if you're just doing 4 signals or something, it's pretty easy, but if you're trying to hook up all 16, so basically we've got 4 signals and then 4 ground. So I usually just connect up a single ground, because you know, it's bad enough trying to hook up 16 signals. Trying to hook up 16 grounds as well is well, I'm just not very good at it. So yeah, probably my problem, not not a general problem. Anyway, so I've always found it a bit frustrating. So I've tried to do things in the past, like I've made these little kind of double, you know, you plug it in. Well, actually this one here, you can see they've actually bent the pins in so that you can kind of sit it on top of the chip, and then you can use, say, like those Arduino kind of female to female wires to connect in, or in fact you could probably connect in like that, I guess. Maybe that was my idea anyway. But anyway, so Marcel designed this Logic Analyser breakout board, and I thought, oh well, that's a good idea, I'll I'll copy it. So I've done 2. So I've done one for the 8080. You might think, well, why did I do that? It's like, well, as you probably know also, if you're a long time viewer, I do a lot of Soviet machines which relied heavily on the 8080 or their version of, and I've also done a Z80 version as well. So it's pretty simple. I've got some, I guess, single inline, I guess. I can never remember which way around they go. I think they go like that. So the idea is that you put the pins in like that. So you've got a row of pins like that, like all those daughter boards that I designed. So you can plug it into the socket, or in fact, if it's soldered in, say, CPU, you can sit it on top, and then of course you've got the option for a IC socket on top. If you can actually unplug the CPU, if the CPU is socketed, you can plug it into there. Otherwise you can leave it in place, and you should be able to kind of you know, squeeze it on. And then on each side I've got a 2 by 20 on each side, so we've got 40 pins in total that you can then just rather than using these little clips, I've got some from AliExpress 2 by 4. I think these are the longest that I could find, I think 20 centimeters. So the idea then is you can just simply plug into there like that. So signals down one side, ground, all ground on the other side. So you plug into there and then plug into there. Much simpler. That's the idea anyway. So I thought we'd give it a go. So I'll make these up. So like I said, I've got Z80 and I've got an 8080, so I'll do one of each. And my paid up Patreon members, always grateful, you guys. I've got 10 of each, so I'll keep one of each, and I've got 9 left. So I have to see how many, but because I've been promising for a while I'm going to send out a batch of PCBs, so I'll send off one to everyone. Well, I've only got 9, so I'll make it up to other people who didn't get enough, who didn't get one. I'll send out the Z80s definitely. 8080, I don't know how useful that is to everyone else, but let's see. But yeah, I'll include this with the PCBs I'm going to send out to my paid Patreons as a little thank you. So I get paid tomorrow. Excellent. So I might be able to afford postage finally. Anyway, let's do the 8080 to start with. Obviously, also, if you've got a lot of space around the CPU or the motherboard is out, then obviously it's quite easy to put something like this in. I'm going to do a 6502 version as well. I'm just thinking things like the VIC-20 where the 6502 is down near the edge of the case. Obviously, if you take the case out, the motherboard out of the case, then it's not a problem. But if you wanted to keep it in the case, then something like this, you probably have to have something like a right-handed and a left-handed, where all the pinouts are on one side. But we'll worry about that later. Let's just see if this works first. As I'm soldering it, so we've got to do the inside first. So I've done the inside of the bottom row. Then I'll put the IC socket on, like so. Solder that on, and then I can solder the second row for the bottom. Usually I'll get at least one drive-by commenter say, oh, you shouldn't be using turn pin sockets, you should use these dual wiper sockets, but no. Okay, so I'll use whatever sockets I want, you use whatever sockets you want, but in my case I find turn pin sockets much better, so that's why I'm using them. Okay, makes sense? Thanks. Let's continue. There we go. So far so good. Now I just got to put the probe things on. So as you can see, I don't know if I showed you close up. So we've got, trying to keep everything kind of in order rather than the actual pin order. We've got D0 to D7, then we've got other signals, and we've got the address signals on the other side. Actually, I've got a question for my Finnish friends. All right, so this is the 8080. What we'd say in English, I guess, the 8080. So do you guys call this 8080 as well? Kahdeksan kymmentä? Or do you say 8080? Which way around is it? That way. Or do you say 8080? How do you call the 8080? Actually, another question. What's, like we'll often say 1300 in English, 1300. Do you say like 1300 sata? Is that like a colloquial way of saying it? 1300 sata, 1300. Just curious, anyway, just some random thought of mine. Okay, now let's add on the probe headers, and we'll give it a try. So, thing is, with the all the 8080s I've got are all Soviet machines or post-Soviet machines, or Soviet era machines, sorry. So most of them are 2.5 mil rather than 2.54 mil pitch, which so this is actually a bit longer than a Soviet chip. So it makes it a little bit difficult. Normally, like if you're trying to put a socket in, you've got to bend it. So that might, it's something I've been looking at, but that might be a bit of a problem. But I do have the homebrew Radio 86RK that we can try this on as well. But anyway, let's see. Let's build it up first. Right, I was just smelling these things. They smell of smoke. Yeah. Not. Where's the packet? Where did I throw the packet? Oh, it doesn't have anything on it. Yeah, it smells really smoky. Anyway, so I finally got them all on. That's kind of what it looks like. So that's the idea. So that's the address pins. And then just hook it up onto your analyzer. So So signal pins are on the inside where I've written the labels. The outside is all ground. Same on this side. So this outside's all ground and the inside is the signals. So we make sure that the signals go to the top like so. These ones are a little bit hard to push in. Like that. Oh, there we go. So all ready to go. So let's find a machine. So I was working on a on the Vektor from Moldova. That's got a 8080. We could try that, I guess, or we could try the Homebrew 86 because that's actually got a proper 8080 in a socket. So we could actually stick it in the socket and put the 8080 on there. Let's get the Vektor. I just popped out to do some errands, and look what I came across. First one I've seen. So King Charles. This is a 10-cent coin. First one I've seen actually. Cool. From last year. Okay. Anyway, thought that was interesting. So I've got the Moldovan Wonder, the Vektor 06C 0.02 that I'm working on, and already I'm getting a dull throb behind my eyes as I think about the 2.5 mil pitch spacing. You know, one could argue that 2.54 is also metric, 2.54 mil. Yes, I know it's based on 0.1 inch mil or whatever it is. Anyway, so here's our 8080. It's a KR50 VM80A, the Soviet version of the 8080. Quite a ubiquitous chip actually. Used it in quite a lot of machines. Got 8255s down here, 8253. I think that's a programmable interface timer. You can't see what I'm pointing at down there. Anyway, so 8080. Now we've got a very easily well made up. So as you can see, it's not socketed. So the idea would be, obviously it's always better if it is socketed because you can take the chip out. So basically you can just sit it on top of the chip. Now I would have, with some effort, slide it on like so. Have a look. See, we've got our Soviet style resistor array, but that's pretty much the idea like that. You could try something like that if it's soldered in. I guess each to their own. Like I say, I find those kind of alligator clip type things really hard to use. Just got to make sure we're not too far off. You can see towards the end there, because of the difference in the pitch, 2.5 versus 2.54, towards the end we're not really making contact, so probably this one over here we should move a little bit more to the left. But you can see that 0.04 of a millimeter really adds up on a 20 pin chip. So I'll move that across, and then we'll see how we go with capturing a trace. We are set to go, got it all set up, got some capture going on the computer. So let's start the capture, power on. There we go, cool. I assume we're getting lots of transitions up here. Lots and lots and lots of transitions. Yeah, there we go. Obviously, so channel 0 is A0 all the way down to A15. So yeah, very simple. I think that for me anyway, that's a lot simpler than attaching 16 16 of those little alligator clip things. So what button do I press again? There we go. Stop capturing. So there we go. What do you think? Let's power that off. I think it's I think for me, I think it's going to make things a lot easier, especially if the chip's socketed. So yeah, I'll be definitely using this a lot more, I think. So there we go. In case that's interesting, check it out on PCBway. I'll upload it to the PCBway share project page. PCBway have been, as you probably know, have been an awesome sponsor of the channel. Well, my only sponsor really, apart from my Patreons. So their help was really, really appreciated, because it lets me do all sorts of weird little experiments like this with basically no risk, no financial risk for me. So that greatly helps. So yeah, there we go. That's all for this one. Bye for now.